Worst 8 veggies diabetics must always be careful with. When it comes to managing diabetes, most people think of sugary desserts, sodas, and white bread as the main culprits behind dangerous blood sugar spikes. But what if I told you that some vegetables, yes, vegetables, could also be contributing to your blood sugar struggles? It's surprising but true. Not all veggies are as healthy as they seem, especially if you're keeping a close eye on your glucose levels. For decades, we've been told to eat more vegetables, and for good reason. Veggies are packed with vitamins, minerals, fiber, and antioxidants that are essential for good health. They can help you maintain a healthy weight, support your immune system, and even lower the risk of chronic diseases like heart disease and cancer. But for diabetics, not all vegetables fit into this idealized picture. Certain types can cause blood sugar to rise rapidly, a situation you absolutely want to avoid. The key isn't to avoid vegetables altogether. Far from it. Instead, it's about knowing which ones to approach with caution, how to manage portions, and how to pair them with other foods to keep your blood sugar stable. 1. Potatoes. They're one of the most popular vegetables in the world, and it's easy to see why. Whether it's mashed potatoes at a family dinner, crispy fries from your favorite restaurant, or even a comforting baked potato on a chilly evening, they're everywhere. But if you're managing diabetes, potatoes are one vegetable that deserves a second thought. You see, potatoes are packed with starch, which is a form of carbohydrate. Now, carbohydrates aren't inherently bad. They're an essential source of energy. But for diabetics, it's all about how quickly those carbs are broken down and turned into sugar in your bloodstream. And with potatoes, that process happens fast, too fast. A medium-sized potato has around 37 grams of carbs, which is about the same as eating 2 slices of white bread. That's a lot of carbs from just one vegetable. Here's where things get trickier. The glycemic index, or GI, of potatoes. The GI measures how quickly a food causes your blood sugar to rise. Potatoes have a GI that ranges from high to very high, depending on how they're cooked. For example, mashed potatoes, as creamy and delicious as they are, have a GI of 83, which is considered very high. Even boiled potatoes, which are a bit better, can still cause significant blood sugar spikes. And let's not forget how potatoes are typically served. French fries, potato chips, loaded baked potatoes. They're often paired with unhealthy fats, oils, and salt. These additions not only make potatoes a high-carb food, but also a high-calorie one. For diabetics, this combination can be a recipe for trouble, potentially leading to higher blood sugar and increased risk for complications like heart disease. Now, you might be thinking, are you saying I have to give up potatoes entirely? The answer is no, but you do need to approach them with care. Think of potatoes as a treat rather than a staple. If you love them, you can still enjoy them, but in smaller amounts and with some mindful tweaks. For example, instead of piling your plate with mashed potatoes, try a small portion alongside foods that won't spike your blood sugar as much, like a green salad or some grilled chicken. These kinds of pairings can help slow down how your body processes the carbs in potatoes. 2. Peas. These small, bright green pods are a staple in many homes, often tossed into soups, stews, and salads or served as a simple side dish. They're sweet, satisfying, and undeniably nutritious. But if you're managing diabetes, peas are one vegetable you'll want to keep an eye on. The sweetness of peas is no coincidence. They're naturally higher in carbohydrates compared to many other non-starchy vegetables. A single cup of cooked peas contains about 20 grams of carbohydrates, along with a decent amount of natural sugar. While peas are also high in fiber, which can help slow the absorption of sugar into your bloodstream, eating them in large quantities can still result in a noticeable rise in your blood sugar levels. One of the reasons peas are so popular is their versatility. They're easy to prepare and pair well with a variety of dishes. But it's easy to overlook how quickly their carbohydrate content can add up, especially when they're mixed into a recipe without much thought about portion size. For instance, a hearty serving of split pea soup might seem like a comforting and healthy choice, but it can pack a surprising carbohydrate punch if you're not careful. That said, peas do have their merits. They're a great source of plant-based protein, making them a favorite among vegetarians and anyone looking to reduce their reliance on animal products. They're also rich in vitamins like vitamin C and vitamin K, as well as minerals such as manganese and iron. These nutrients are undeniably beneficial, but as with many foods, it's about finding the right balance. If you enjoy peas and want to include them in your diet, moderation is key. A small portion of peas can be a great addition to a meal, but it's important to pair them with other low-carb foods to keep your blood sugar levels steady. For example, serving a small scoop of peas alongside a lean protein, like grilled chicken or salmon, can help balance out their impact. Adding a source of healthy fat, such as olive oil or avocado, can further slow the absorption of sugar, giving your body more time to process the meal. Peas are one of those foods that fall into the not too much, not too little category for diabetics. They're packed with nutrients and can absolutely be part of a balanced diet, but keeping portion sizes in check and pairing them wisely will make all the difference. 3. Sweet potatoes. They're packed with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, and their natural sweetness makes them a delicious addition to many meals. But for diabetics, sweet potatoes are not without their challenges. While they do have a lower glycemic index, GI, than regular potatoes, they're still high in carbohydrates and can raise blood sugar levels if not consumed carefully. At first glance, sweet potatoes might seem like a perfect food choice. They're loaded with beta-carotene, a powerful antioxidant that your body converts into vitamin A, which is essential for eye health and a strong immune system. They also provide fiber, which helps slow digestion and can contribute to better blood sugar control. However, it's the carbohydrate content that demands your attention. A medium-sized sweet potato contains around 24 grams of carbohydrates. While that's slightly less than a regular potato, it's still a significant amount, especially if you're aiming to keep your carb intake low. The glycemic index of sweet potatoes varies depending on how they're prepared. For instance, a baked sweet potato has a GI of around 70, which is considered high. Boiling them, on the other hand, reduces the GI to about 50, making them a better choice for those managing diabetes. The difference lies in how cooking methods affect the starches in the potato, with boiling helping to retain more of the resistant starch that slows sugar absorption. Despite their challenges, sweet potatoes can be a part of a diabetes-friendly diet if you approach them mindfully. One way to enjoy them without worrying about a blood sugar spike is to keep your portions small. Instead of eating a whole sweet potato, try slicing it into thin wedges, roasting them, and pairing them with a protein-rich food like grilled chicken or fish. This combination helps moderate the overall impact on your glucose levels. It's also worth noting that not all sweet potatoes are created equal. Varieties like the Japanese sweet potato, which is denser and sweeter, may have a slightly higher GI than other types. If you're experimenting with different kinds, it's a good idea to monitor how your blood sugar responds after eating them. 4. Beets. Their vibrant color, earthy flavor, and versatility make them a popular choice in salads, juices, and side dishes. Plus, they're packed with nutrients like folate, potassium, and antioxidants, making them a seemingly perfect addition to a healthy diet. But if you're managing diabetes, beets come with a caveat. They're naturally high in sugar. Yes, you read that right. Beets are one of the sweetest vegetables out there. A single cup of cooked beets contains about 13 grams of carbohydrates, most of which come from natural sugars. While this is far less than what you'd find in a sugary dessert or a slice of white bread, it's still significant enough to impact blood sugar levels, especially if you eat beets in large quantities. Beets also have a moderate glycemic index, with a GI score of about 64. This means they're not as problematic as high GI foods like white bread or potatoes, but they're still on the higher end for vegetables. Their natural sugars are absorbed into the bloodstream relatively quickly, which can lead to a spike in glucose levels if they're not balanced with other low GI foods or consumed in moderation. Despite these concerns, beets are incredibly nutritious and can still be part of a diabetes-friendly diet. Their high antioxidant content, particularly betalains, gives them powerful anti-inflammatory and detoxifying properties. Beets are also a good source of dietary nitrates, which can help lower blood pressure, a valuable benefit for diabetics who are at increased risk of heart disease. The key is to enjoy them mindfully and in the right amounts. For example, instead of having a large serving of roasted beets, try slicing a small beet thinly and adding it to a salad with greens, cucumbers, and a lean protein like grilled chicken. This way, you're getting the nutritional benefits of beets without overloading on carbs. Another idea is to use beets as a flavor enhancer in soups or dips rather than making them the main ingredient. 5. Corn. Corn is one of those vegetables that feels like a staple in almost every kitchen. From buttery corn on the cob at summer barbecues to a steaming bowl of corn soup on a chilly night, it's a comforting favorite. But for diabetics, corn comes with a bit of a catch. It's higher in carbohydrates than you might think, and that can spell trouble for your blood sugar. At first glance, corn doesn't seem like a food you'd need to worry about. After all, it's a vegetable, and vegetables are supposed to be healthy, right? The problem lies in the type of carbs corn contains. Corn is packed with starch, which your body quickly digests and converts into sugar. This process can lead to a rapid spike in blood sugar, especially if you're eating a large portion. A single cup of corn kernels contains about 27 grams of carbs, and while it also has some fiber to help slow the absorption of sugar, the impact on your glucose levels can still be significant. And it's not just the carbs that make corn tricky, it's the way it's often served. Think about it. Cornbread, corn chips, creamed corn, and popcorn loaded with butter or sugar. These are all popular ways to enjoy corn, but they're often combined with fats, oils, and sweeteners that make the dish even more of a challenge for diabetics. Even plain corn on the cob, though delicious, can add up quickly if you're not careful with portions. One of the reasons corn is so widely consumed is its versatility. It's a base ingredient in everything from tortillas to breakfast cereals, and for many people, it's an affordable, accessible food. But for diabetics, it's important to understand how much is too much. Corn's glycemic index falls in the moderate range, around 52, but that can vary depending on how it's prepared. Boiled corn, for example, has a lower impact on blood sugar than popcorn or fried corn-based snacks. Does this mean you have to eliminate corn from your diet completely? Not at all. Corn has its benefits. It's a good source of fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin, which are great for eye health. The key is to enjoy it in moderation and pair it wisely. For example, if you're having a small portion of corn, combine it with a source of protein or healthy fat, like grilled fish or avocado, to slow down its impact on your blood sugar. 6. Carrots. Crunchy, sweet, and full of nutrients, they're a staple in everything from salads to soups. But for diabetics, carrots fall into a gray area. While they're undeniably packed with vitamins and antioxidants, their natural sugar content means they can impact blood sugar levels, especially if eaten in large quantities. One of the things that makes carrots so appealing is their natural sweetness. This sweetness comes from their relatively high sugar content compared to other non-starchy vegetables. A single cup of raw carrots contains about 12 grams of carbohydrates, including 6 grams of natural sugar. While this isn't as high as some of the starchy vegetables we've talked about, it's still something to consider, particularly if you're consuming them as a snack or part of a meal that already includes other carbohydrate sources. The glycemic index of carrots tells an interesting story. Raw carrots have a low GI of around 35, which means they don't cause a significant spike in blood sugar when eaten in small amounts. However, when carrots are cooked, their GI increases to about 60, putting them in the moderate range. This happens because cooking breaks down the starches in carrots, making their natural sugars more readily available for absorption. Carrots are undeniably a nutritional powerhouse. They're loaded with beta-carotene, an antioxidant that your body converts into vitamin A, which supports eye health, immune function, and skin repair. They're also a good source of fiber, which can help slow digestion and support better blood sugar control. But as with many foods, portion size is key. If you're a fan of carrots, the good news is that you don't have to avoid them entirely. They can still be part of a diabetes-friendly diet if you're mindful of how much you're eating. For instance, instead of munching on a big bowl of cooked carrots, try using a smaller portion as a side dish alongside a protein-rich main course. This way, the protein can help buffer the impact of the carbs on your blood sugar. Raw carrots can be a better choice for snacking since their low GI makes them less likely to cause a rapid glucose spike. Pairing them with a source of healthy fat, like a small serving of hummus or a handful of nuts, can also help stabilize your blood sugar levels. 7. Pumpkin. Pumpkin is a beloved vegetable, especially in the fall, when pumpkin pies, soups, and lattes dominate the season. But beyond its festive charm, pumpkin is a tricky food for diabetics. While it's full of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. It's also a higher carb vegetable that can impact your blood sugar if you're not careful. One of the first things to know about pumpkin is its carbohydrate content. A single cup of cooked pumpkin contains around 12 grams of carbohydrates, which might not seem like much at first glance. However, pumpkin is often consumed in forms that increase its glycemic impact. For instance, pumpkin puree, often used in baking or soups, is more concentrated and can contribute a greater carb load in a smaller portion. Pumpkin also has a moderate glycemic index, with a GI score of about 75 for mashed pumpkin. This means that it can cause blood sugar levels to rise relatively quickly, especially if eaten alone or in large amounts. When you think about how pumpkin is typically prepared, sweetened for pies, combined with sugar in desserts, or blended into soups with creamy, high-fat ingredients, it's clear how it can go from a nutritious vegetable to a potential blood sugar spike in disguise. That said, pumpkin is more than just carbs. It's rich in beta-carotene, the antioxidant responsible for its bright orange color, which your body converts into vitamin A. This makes pumpkin excellent for eye health and immune support. It's also a good source of fiber, which can help slow digestion and keep you feeling full for longer. If you're a pumpkin lover, you don't have to give it up entirely. The key is to be mindful of portion sizes and how you prepare it. For example, instead of reaching for a sugary pumpkin pie, try roasting fresh pumpkin with olive oil, garlic, and herbs. This savory preparation not only enhances the flavor but also avoids the added sugar that often accompanies pumpkin dishes. Another option is to use pumpkin in small amounts as a thickener for soups or stews. A few spoonfuls can add creaminess and flavor without significantly increasing the carb count of your meal. Pairing pumpkin with protein and healthy fats, such as roasted chicken or a drizzle of avocado oil, can also help moderate its impact on your blood sugar. 8. Parsnips. Parsnips are often overlooked compared to their more popular cousins, carrots and potatoes, but they have a unique flavor and texture that make them a favorite in hearty winter meals. With their subtle sweetness and starchy consistency, parsnips are a versatile ingredient in soups, roasts, and purees. However, for diabetics, they come with a warning label. Their higher sugar and carbohydrate content can have a noticeable impact on blood sugar levels. At first glance, parsnips might seem like a harmless root vegetable, but their nutritional profile tells a different story. A single cup of cooked parsnips contains about 24 grams of carbohydrates, including 6 grams of sugar. This carbohydrate load is comparable to that of a small potato, making parsnips one of the higher carb vegetables on the menu. While they also contain fiber, which can help moderate blood sugar spikes, their natural sugars still make them a food to eat in moderation. The glycemic index of parsnips falls in the moderate to high range, depending on how they're prepared. For instance, boiling parsnips can make their starches more digestible, leading to a higher GI and a quicker rise in blood sugar. On the other hand, roasting parsnips with healthy fats like olive oil can help slow down digestion and reduce their glycemic impact. Despite their challenges, parsnips do have nutritional benefits worth considering. They're a good source of vitamin C, K, and folate, as well as potassium, which supports heart health. They also contain antioxidants that help combat inflammation, a key concern for many diabetics. The trick is to balance these benefits with mindful portion sizes and preparation methods. For example, instead of making parsnips the main ingredient in a dish, try using them as an accent. Add a few slices to a medley of lower-carb vegetables like zucchini, broccoli, or cauliflower to enjoy their unique flavor without overloading on carbs. Alternatively, mash parsnips with cauliflower for a lower-carb alternative to traditional mashed potatoes. Another tip is to avoid overly sweetened preparations, like honey-glazed parsnips, which can add unnecessary sugar to an already carb-heavy vegetable. Instead, enhance their natural sweetness with savory herbs like thyme, rosemary, or garlic. These additions not only boost flavor, but also make the dish more diabetes-friendly. When it comes to managing diabetes, vegetables are often seen as a safe haven, healthy, low in calories, and packed with nutrients. But as we've explored in this video, not all vegetables are created equal. Some, like the ones we discussed today, are higher in carbohydrates or natural sugars, making them the potential challenge for blood sugar control. This doesn't mean you need to avoid them entirely, but it does mean you need to be strategic about how you include them in your diet. Portion size is your best friend. Keeping servings small can make a big difference. Combining higher-carb vegetables with protein, healthy fats, and fiber-rich foods can help slow digestion and minimize blood sugar spikes. For example, pairing a small serving of roasted pumpkin with grilled chicken or enjoying a handful of raw carrots with a few almonds can transform these higher-carb vegetables into balanced, diabetes-friendly options. Preparation also plays a critical role. Instead of frying potatoes or glazing carrots with sugar, try roasting or steaming them with herbs and spices for flavor without the added carbs. Small changes like these can make a significant impact on how your body processes these foods. And don't forget to monitor your blood sugar levels after eating these vegetables to better understand how your body responds and adjust accordingly. If you're looking for alternatives to these higher carb options, there are plenty of low-carb vegetables that can take their place. Leafy greens like spinach and kale, cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower, and non-starchy options like zucchini and cucumbers are all excellent choices. They provide the same nutrient-dense benefits without the blood sugar concerns. At the end of the day, diabetes management is all about balance. It's not about cutting out entire food groups or saying goodbye to your favorite dishes. It's about being mindful of what you eat, how much you eat, and how you prepare your meals. By understanding which vegetables require caution and making smart substitutions when necessary, you can enjoy a varied and satisfying diet that supports your blood sugar goals. If this video has been helpful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment below to share your favorite diabetes-friendly vegetable recipes or tips for managing your blood sugar. Together, we can build a community focused on health, wellness, and a life full of vitality. Remember, every small step you take matters. Thanks for watching and take care of your health. See you in our next video.